Barakatah Yahweh, Barakatah Yahweh Shai. All praises and all honor and all glory unto Yahweh, Ba'ashem, Yahweh Shai, Ba'ashem, Rakakwadash. Double honor to the apostles and elders of Great Millstone, who rule well. Salutations to the Akim and the Four Winds, preaching in truth and sincerity, risking their lives more now than ever, the hopeful elect. The elect, Shalom, to the Israelite foreigners whose phenotype may look like another nation, but bloodline goes back to Israel and have come back to the fold. Shalom to you sisters, you Akwathium, who listen and learn under your husband, which is your spiritual leader, with meekness and with silence. Shalom. This your brother Rum Yehoda with the lesson. And yeah. So I'm doing this based on this the dust and confusion, right? Uh um of the chains that the angels put on them, which we also know slavery too, right? So it was more than just slavery. I mean, the big thing of it is the dust and confusion, but we did have them in chains in slavery. So it says, and I saw an angel come down from heaven, having the key of the bottomless pit and a great chain in his hand. So yeah, we did put him into slavery during the Byzantine Empire, right? But that wasn't all of Edom. We had certain, tribes or pockets of Edom that we had in slavery. It wasn't all of Edom, right? But we know one thing commonly did happen for all of Edom, right? Because they all collectively call themselves what? Caucasians, right? So, you know, it says, and he laid hold on the dragon, right? Which we know that to be what? Rome, right? But we had what? The Greco Empire. Then you had the Roman Empire, and they basically declared that to be the Roman Greco Empire, right? That's where Edom got their power from the beginning, from Greece, from conquering Greece, which then they wasn't the real Grecians in the first place, right? So that old serpent, right, going back to the Garden of Eden, the devil, right, which is the accuser of your brethren, or you know, what is it, categorio, going to categorizing you, but categorizing you only to falsely accuse you, right? And then Satan being what? Your enemy, your adversary, right? Which is Esau, Edom, and bound him 1,000 years. Okay, so we did have them in slavery. So we did have them in slavery under the Byzantine Empire. So it says the Byzantine Empire, also referred to as the Eastern Roman Empire or Byzantium, was the continuation of the Roman Empire, primarily in the Eastern Province during the late antiquity of the Middle Ages, and when its capital city was Constantinople. It survived the fragmentation of and fall of the Western Empire in the 5th century AD, and continued to exist for another 1,000 years. So basically that's how long we ruled for, like another 1,000, give or take, until the fall of Constantinople to the Ottoman, right, which goes into Esau, was those and they call the Ottoman Turks, right? The Ottoman Turks, which is Esau Empire in 1453, right? So we ruled that 1,000 years. Esau came back, which this happened several times in history, right? Yeah. So this is 1 Kings chapter 11 verse 14, and the Lord stirred up an adversary against Solomon, Hadad the Edomite. He was the king's seed of Edom, right? For it came to pass when David was in Edom, and Jeroboam the captain of the host was gone up to bury the slain, after he had slain every male in Edom, which obviously he didn't slay all the males, because here this guy comes back basically with a vengeance. So we know that this has happened, you know, in time, you know what I mean? Lots of different times where they came back, you know, all these different times. So yeah, this is Second Chronicles chapter 21. Second Chronicles chapter 21 verse 8. In the days of in his days, the Edomites revolted from under the dominion of Judah and made themselves a king, right? Which is talking about Jeroboam, right? Okay, yeah. Now we're back at Revelation 20, and then we'll go to verse 3. Revelation chapter 20, verse 3. And he cast him into the bottomless pit and shut him up. Right? So let's look that up real quick. Yeah, so this is Revelation chapter 20, verse 3, and I'm just go to the thing right here. 3 says, and he cast him into the bottomless pit and shut him up. So let's look up that, since we're in the blue letter. Salakia.
Strong's G 2808.
Clio. Shut up. Metapha. Right? To cause the heaven to withhold rain. To shut up compassion, so that it is like a thing inaccessible to one, to be devoid of pity towards one. Okay, let's start with this this metapha or metapha. So I put metapha in the dictionary, and it says metaphor, metaphorical, metaphysical, metaphysics, right? So, and another thing, we know what meta is, right? Yeah, this is meta, come from the Greek prefix and preposition meta, which means after or beyond. When combined with the word in English Meta is often signifies change or alteration, as in the words metamorphic or metabolic, right? So we know that what these devils, right? These Edomites, these self-proclaimed so-called white people today, they went to what beyond, right, into the Caucasus Mountains, and they took on a what a metamorphosis, a metaphor for messing up a metamorphosis within the change when they were there, right?
Inaccessible.
Inaccessible. Okay, right. It says unable to reach, right? Like go beyond. You know, he had to go into the Caucasus Mountains. So we didn't have all of them in slavery, right, during this time because they got pushed into the Caucasus Mountains. We know that, right? To enter a remote or inaccessible cave. Why? Hey, you can't make this up. Hey, see? You know? So ultimately, most of them went into what? The cave. But what's the point of the chain if they're in the cave, right? What's another thing that the Lord was saying? Let's continue. So yeah, so let's go ahead back to Revelations right here, 20:3 to finish it up. So it says, and he cast him into the bottomless pit and shut him up. So we know that the shut up is to go beyond, to metamorphosis, to make a change, right? And then what is that change that he's gonna put on them, right? It says and set a seal upon him that he should deceive the nations no more. So that's the change that he's gonna put on him. It's gonna be like a metamorphosis on him being able to deceive the nations, right? That's the whole point of the chain that he had to put on him. Till the 1,000 years should be fulfilled, and after that he might be loosed a little season, right? So what happened during that time of him going beyond and doing the metamorphosis, right? Change, right? Yeah, so this is Job chapter 30, verse 5. And they were driven forth from among men, right? So they a place that's beyond a place that's inaccessible, a cave, right? Matter of fact, I think it goes into that, yeah. And they, right, talking about the other people, cried after them as after a thief. And I believe if you go into the Compact Bible Dictionary, it says that Edom was known as a nation that stole and got their riches from stealing from other nations, right? Even back then, they were stealing from other nations. That's, so that's basically been their MO. So, definitely they did it when they got into power. You know what I mean? So they were known for stealing from other nations to get their riches. Even back then, I believe it's in the Compact Bible Dictionary. I used to have mine, but I don't have one right now. But it says to dwell in the cliffs of the valley, in the caves, right? A remote, inaccessible place, a cave of the earth, and in the rocks among the bushes, they beret. Okay, so now we're talking about they beret. So this is that metamorphosis. This is the part where it took the change. Or this is the part where the Lord set the bounds upon them that they will not be able to deceive the nations anymore. Right? So this is still Job 30:7. So we're going to Beret.
Strong's H 5101. Nahak. Nahak.
It said Nahak. It says to bray, cry out. Right? Which we know that for them to be basically like to grunt. Like, you know what I mean? Let's see, they don't want to have no roots. No root. Oh, wait. What's that? Okay. Let me see if I can get this to come. I'll put my down. To bray, to use as an ass. Of a wretched and famished people. There you go. So yeah. They became a wretched and famished people, and we know beret basically they were grunting, right? And they became a wretched and poor people, man. So yeah, this is John 19:19, and Pilate wrote a title and put it on the cross. And the writings was Yahushua of Nazareth, the King of the Jews. Right? Right? And this is the point where what I'm going to make right here in 20, right here. Said this title then read many of the Jews, for this place where Yahushua was crucified was nigh to the city, and it was written in what? Hebrew, Greek, and Latin. So you gotta really take a thing, understand the power of Yahweh Shema Shai, when he could take a man intelligence to where he's beraying, just making noise from a point that he was intelligent. 3 different languages, Hebrew, Greek, and Latin. That was an intelligent Edomite at one time. Now he's going that, getting pushed into the Caucasus Mountains. Right? That's a metamorphosis for your ass, really. That's a metamorphosis for you. Right? That's the power of Yahweh Shema Shai, man. You gotta fear Yahweh Shema Shai, because he has that power to be able to do that, man. He took this intelligent man and took him to, matter of fact, that it's gonna go into it, right? Let's go back to that. Yeah, so it says right here, Job 37, among the bushes they bray, under the nellows they were gathering together. They were children of fools, yea, children of base men. Right? From a person who's been able to write Hebrew, Greek, and Latin, an intelligent man, to Berean, man. That's the power of Yahweh Shema Shai, man. That's the reason why they weren't able to deceive the nations anymore. Not only that, they were pushed up into a remote place. So not only did the Lord push them up to a remote place, He made them where they couldn't even. They went to goddamn baby status, whatever, or talking crazy, like, you know what I mean? What was the ones, those Edomites, that the one that talked like the dogs or whatever, however it was. There was a video way back, you know what I mean? And they were incest or whatever. And, Apostle Hart was talking about that. Even Apostle Hart said we didn't have all Edom into slavery. You know what I mean? So, yes, they were valor than the earth, man. Brought them to the basis of man, and they were then. You mean when you read the thing, it said that they were like donkeys. Donkeys are dirty, man. Then it said they were wretched poor. Right? You know what I'm saying? Valor than the earth, man. Yeah, so this is Genesis chapter 3, verse 14. And Yahweh, Bashem Yahweh Shai, said unto the serpent, because thus has done this, thus are cursed above all cattle, which going into, the Lord said, men are like beasts, man. It says, and above all, and above every beast of the field, right? Just talking about you people, man. That's the reason why in Daniel's it tells you about the first beast, the second beast, the third beast, the fourth beast, right? And we're in the fourth beast, on the second leg of the fourth beast right now, right? So this is why he told you these are just they're and this is the basis of all those men that's ruling, right? You have to be a fool to do the exact same 3 times, technically. Right? Under the Greeks, you ruled, you couldn't get enough. You couldn't be satisfied then till you literally had to take the gold and the silver out of the thing. You want to leave people as a perpetual slave. So Greece fell. You basically did the exact same thing as Rome. You had a very lucrative empire, but you couldn't get enough of filling your own pocket instead of it being, you're really about your empire, your kingdom, things like that. Making sure the average person, the poor person, could eat or could do this or do that. No, you want to pull everything's a tax. Same thing now. Here you in this next empire at the what do they call it? The Treaty of Rome. And all of you are going in debt again. Somehow you're scattered all around the world, and yet you all are going in debt at the same time. Because you didn't get it right. So you think somehow you're going to create the fourth industrial thing, and the Lord is going to allow it to happen? No, He ain't going to allow it to happen. Why? Because the Lord said what? You're cursed above all cattle, and above every beast of the field, and upon thy belly, right? Because ultimately that's what you is. You what they call it back in there? They call you a yelly belly, right? You're scary. You're a joke, right? Get upon your belly, right? That's what they used to call a coward, right? Because ultimately that's what you do. You fight a lot of those fights that you know you can win. You know what I mean? Right? Shall thus go, and thus, right, which goes into confusion, shall thus eat all the days of thy life. Right? All the days of thy life. So you gotta, when you come into think and you understanding this, Esau has been about confusion. This is from the very beginning, showing you that there were going to be a time period that they were gonna they have this there's certain spurts of confusion throughout their whole entire lifespan. But the lowest of low is when they were what? Beraying. Couldn't even speak, let alone what beguile you. Right? Because what did the Lord say about their words? Yeah, so this is Job chapter 12, verse 19. He leadeth princes away spoiled. Right? So ultimately what? Esau, you got, princess is another way of saying ruler. So Esau what? Got spoiled. Right? Everything got took from him. Which, it happened to the Israelites too, but in this instinct, the Lord took away more than just, the riches or, his ruling, his ruling seat. Right? And overthrow the mighty, right? Their military, right? He removeth away the speech. See, when they berate, it said like a hungry donkey, or like, a lot of brothers say, it was like, like just, making these different noise, Captain Caveman noise, well, only Esau can understand Esau, which made it to be where they could not deceive the nations, right? And that's the power of the Lord, of the trust, right? And take away the understanding of the age, right? Because you had your age, your time period that you ruled, but it also is going into however long you ruled, right? And basically, and no matter how old you are too, but your age, your rulership, the Lord could take away your whole, the understanding of the whole thing, to where it was like you never existed. But let's see what this Trusky is.
Strong's H539. Amen.
Aman, yeah, support for confirm. Yeah, see, the Lord confirm you to be what? A prince. But at one point in time, he could take away the point that he confirmed you to be a prince or ruler. Be faithful, wait, uphold, right? The Lord, he's the one who upholds you as a ruler, and he could take it away. Take away your speech, take away your understanding, take away, spoil you. You'll no longer be ruling, right? Foster father, foster mother, pillar. Yeah, the Lord is the one that holds you up, supports you. You know what I mean? When you're ruling, to be established. See, the Lord established kingdoms and kings and princes upon the earth, the ones who rule. Right? He could take away your understanding, your speech, and everything. Now, you're braying. You're just making noise. Ooh, 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 ooh. Like, you know what I mean? Captain Caveman. Yeah, so he says he increaseth, says this is Job 12 and 23. He increaseth the nations and destroyeth them. See? The Lord raises up a nation, and then he could destroy the nation, man. Right? He enlargeth a nation and stir them up again, right? So he can enlarge you, draw you down a little, or build you back up. You know what I mean? Which, that happened, The Lord allowed David to rule over you Edomites, Solomon ruled, but then Solomon went off. The first thing the Lord raised up against Solomon was an Edomite, right? And then so on and so forth. Under Jeroboam, you know what I mean? His son, when things was going all right, he was doing what he's supposed to do. Then he start going off. Hey, raise up the Edomite. The Edomites are our natural enemy, man. So most likely the Lord is going to raise up these Edomites. That's our natural enemy. Right? So it says that he taketh away the heart. Oh, see? Lob, the mind. So your mind was able to be a person who could speak 3 different languages at one point in time. Right? Your mind is to bring in the MOTB. Right? But the Lord come and take that all away. Right? Says his mind, he taketh away the mind, well, is the heart of the chief, right? But your mind, man, yeah, you had to be a chief of them to be able to speak 3 different languages, and now all of a sudden you by the mallows, Bahrain to eat them for meat, barely able to eat, making noise like a starving donkey, right? Says yeah, and of the people of the earth, he causeth them to wander in the wilderness where there is no way. So where's the Caucasus Mountains, man? The Caucasus Mountains is in the wilderness. There's no way out there. It's nothing, right? The Lord just said you're gonna be on your belly. You're the basis of men. You're gonna be upon your belly, right? And grope in the darkness without light, right? When you deal with those caves, especially when the sun is down, or even when the sun is up. A lot of time those caves are dark, man. Right? And maketh them to stagger like a drunken man, right? So you're sitting out there beraying, walking through some dark caves, not even able to know where the hell you're going. I mean, and now you think you can come back with the MOTB and take over the world, and then just forget God, forget that there's a power, but it ain't in you to think about the power like that. You know what I mean? So this is Psalms 55, verse 21. The words of his mouth, which is talking about Esau, Edom, were smoother than butter, right? But war is in his heart, right? Lob, your mind. That's why when you go back to the other one, it says his inward thoughts is that his kingdom shall go on forever, man. Right? That's his thoughts, right? His mind, lob. His words, right, are smoother than oil, yet were they drawing swords, right? So this is a common thing, especially to you Israelites, man, that you let Esau say these smooth words or double tongue it, right? That's why even the natives used to call him a double tongue or a forked tongue, right? Right? He had a forked tongue. He's talking on both sides of his tongue, which is ultimately what he's doing under this whole CV19, under the different codes and guidelines, and they're talking on one it's this and one time it's this, but then really it's all collectively going to what they want, right? But yet, being his words is smoother than butter and softer than oil. If he go, he can't beguile you. He can't talk smooth words to you to get you to be deceived. He can't even talk. Not to mention, it said a remote place, right? Like a cave. In the definition, it said it, right? And that's exactly where he was at, right? Yeah. So at one point in time, this devil was pretty smart. He knew three languages, 4 languages, ruling the world. Knew a lot of languages, right? And he was pretty smooth with the words, man. Softer than oil, right? So it says, this is First Maccabees 1:30. It says, speak peaceable words unto them, but all was deceit, right? You go up on this, it's talking about when they were ruling as the Greeks. Like I told you, the Roman Greco Empire, or the Greco Empire going into the Roman Empire, basically them being the Roman Greco Empire, basically being the same Edomites, right? So it says, yeah, and spake peaceable words unto them, right? Who are them? The Israelites, you so-called Black, Hispanic, and Native Indians, right? But all was deceit, right? Just like they're doing now. It no different. Everything they speak to you is all deceit. Even if it is talking about something that'll help you. Oh, we got this Medicaid. We got this and that. We got this new thing that can help you, can make life better. Well, know that thing is deceit. For when they had given him credence, right? Which credence, or like that boxing movie, right, coming out called Creed. When you look up Creed means to believe or belief, right? They believed in this devil, and that's what a lot of you so-called Black, Hispanic, and Native Indians, you believe in the self-proclaimed so-called white man, right? But if he's Berean, he can't deceive you. That's why the Lord did that. He made a metamorphosis of the man being able to speak and write and be eloquent in 3 different languages, to the point that he, hey man, Yahweh Shem was shot cold with it, man. Right? But when he's not, what you believe him, say, and give him credence, what belief, he fell suddenly upon the city, right, to destroy it, which that's what they finna do right now. Jacob's trouble, knowing that they got but a short time, right? Devil coming down with great wrath, knowing he got but a short time, right? Gonna suddenly fall upon the city and smote it with very sore, and destroyed much people of Israel, man. And who's ultimately finna be destroyed, man? The 2/3, man, right? Some Israelites, who know that's in the faith, that's really truly men of the Lord. They're gonna be beheaded, but the Lord's gonna see that as being a martyr, man. The Lord's gonna see that as a righteous death, man. Right? And that brother's gonna be on the chariots already before you even get there. Right? A lot of you other brothers, man, they're gonna be the first on the chariots. So call law Yom Yahweh Shema Shai, man. But a lot of you Israelites, you're deceived because this man can speak, man. Right? Yeah, so this is Revelation chapter 13, verse 14. Right? When Esau's not able to be pushed off into the Caucasus Mountains, and Beret, speaking like a Captain Caveman, well, he ain't doing that. Guess what? Now he's out of the Caucasus Mountains, right? Speaking smooth words to you so-called Black, Hispanic, and Native Indians, right? And what? Revelation chapter 13, verse 14, and deceiving them that dwell on the earth by means of those miracles which he had power to do in sight of the beast, right? The Lord said, what, this man is nothing but he's gonna be lower than all, what, the beast of the field, man. Right? So you got these four empires, the Babylonian Empire, the Medo-Persian Empire, you had the Greek Empire, the Roman Empire, and then you in the second leg of Rome. Now, right? Because a man has two legs. Right? So it went down, but then they said the deadly wound was healed. Right? So it says, know what I mean? Right? Matter of fact, it's in this chapter that tells you about the deadly wound is healed, which is talking about Rome, right? Which all the Edomites came out of the Caucasus Mountains, because all these Edomites call themselves Caucasians. It says, matter of fact, we want to look up because the Russians call themselves Caucasian too. You know what I mean? Even though they're a totally separate type of Edomite, even their spirit is different, but they know that they're Caucasians, man. Says Salakia, where was I at? Says to deceive the earth, to deceive them that dwell on the earth, but by the means of those miracles which he did have power to do in the sight of the beast, right? Which is that the fourth beast, which is the Greco-Roman Empire, which is revised Greco-Roman Empire, which revised into what NATO, EU, and America, right? Which Canada is basically involved with that, because that's what they are. That's why you got Canada. You got the English part of Canada, and you got the French Canadian part of Canada. But those are those Edomites that did the most damage to the earth, man. Right? But the Lord ain't finna leave out the Edomites that's in Russia. Matter of fact, we're gonna get that after I show you that the Russians call themselves Caucasian too, and then I'm gonna go into the Russians real quick, and then I'm gonna close out. It says get power in the sight of the beast, saying to them that dwell on the earth that they should make an image of the beast, which going into the Roman Empire, which had the wound by the sword and did live. See, there you go. I told you. It was in this verse right here. See? Oh, just above it too, 12. But yeah, but they had by the sword and did live, which is going to second leg of Rome, right? So let's go into that. Show you that even though the Russians call themselves Caucasians. Yeah, so Britannica.com, Caucasian people, Czechnies or Czechies, says the Caucasian Russians, right? So when you're dealing with them, the point that I'm making is those Russians also say that they're Caucasian. So when you're dealing with it being the chains were they had to be in that 1,000-year period. They were in the Caucasus Mountains, right? Which these people are also calling themselves Caucasian. Russians, Czechs, Czechnies, plural, Czechies, members of a Caucasian people speaking a Northwest Caucasian language, Kaburbian language, right? So we know that there are the same people, and they know that they were in the Caucasus Mountains all together. You know, when it comes with the chains, they all wasn't in chains, right? Because we didn't have all of them in slavery. So that when it comes to the chains, So yeah, and now that I showed you that even the Russians call themselves Caucasians, you know, the Czechs, you know what I mean? Or however you want to, you know. However you want to say it, basically them, you know, the Czech, you know, they call themselves Caucasians. So you've seen that. So it says, Revelations chapter 20, verse 8, and shall go out to deceive the nations which are in the four corners. See, they went into the four corners. Yeah, we're saying. So where did they come from the four corners? They came from they all came from the Caucasus Mountains, right? I'm gonna say all of them, but a great majority. Besides the ones we had in slavery. But then once the ones that we had in slavery, they were rising up against us. Then the ones that came out of the Caucasus Mountains, seeing that, they would, you know, they had greater numbers then. They had, you know, but it says, dang, this is not even how I want, but you know, because I had a different lesson. I had a different way I was going to do this, but I'm going to go ahead and finish it. This is, yeah, it said, and shall go out to deceive the nations which are in the quarters of the earth, so like a four quarters of the earth, Gog and Magog, which we know that is Russia, to gather together to battle, right? Which is going into World War III. So which the Lord is going to bring this Edomite to an end, where Jacob is the beginning of it that followeth. Esau's the end of this world, and Jacob is the beginning of it that followeth. Right? So we're going into that time. But we have to understand that what? First and foremost, that it was what? The dust, the confusion. Right? That's the only time that ever happened to anybody. That's why he's ultimately known as the basis of men. Right? Besides all the degenerate things he does too. But a lot of them did that too. But the way the Lord really made them base is just braying, grunting. So this is going into, hey, just because you over there in Russia, that don't mean you're Edomite. So the Lord got to get you too. Gog and Magog gathered together to battle, the number of whom whom is as the sands of the sea. Right? So they get in their multitude, make it prepare for the battle, preparing for war for themselves, and being a guard unto to Persia, right, which is Iran. And so we're coming into that time. So call all Yahweh Bashem Yahushai Bashem Rakakadash. Double honor to the apostles and elders of Great Millstone who rule well. Salutations to the Akim and the four winds, preaching in truth and sincerity, risking your lives more now than ever. The hopeful elect, Shalom. To the Israelite foreigners whose phenotype may look like another nation, but bloodline goes back to Israel and have come back to the fold. Shalom to you sisters, you Akwatium, who listen and learn under your husband, which is your spiritual leader, with meekness and with silence. Shalom. Hey, and a Baba Ball, man. Hey, Kwame Ashrala, we got next.